But I'm
already know how Taylor Swift moves. Nothing she does is ever simple. It's never just, I got engaged, and that's the end of the story. Oh no, with Taylor, there's always layers, clues, and mystery woven into every detail. As she stepped into late 2025 promoting The Life of a Showgirl, she started slipping wedding breadcrumbs like only she can. Some obvious, some sly, and some so subtle you'd miss them if you blinked. Every post, every interview felt like another puzzle piece in the fairy tale she's crafting before our eyes. But let's be real, it all begins with the proposal, the one that shook the fandom to its core. When she hit the Graham Norton show, Taylor finally spilled how Kelce popped the question. And baby, it wasn't your average get down on one knee moment. He went all out, secretly turning his backyard into a romantic fantasy straight out of her lyrics. Picture this: floral arches, trimmed hedges, candlelight flickering through the trees, and hidden photographers ready to capture every gasp and tear. It was pure magic, the kind of scene that would make even Disney jealous. Taylor couldn't stop gushing, calling it a 10 out of 10 moment and admitting he really crushed it. You could practically see her glowing through She dropped that signature Taylor twist, the line that made fans melt and speculate for weeks. She said that while she'll share some pieces of the story, other parts will always be just ours. That single quote had Swifties spinning theories faster than her vinyl sell out. That's the genius of Taylor, giving just enough to keep us hooked while guarding the real jewels behind velvet ropes. She's turned privacy into an art form, creating a wedding mystery that's both deeply personal and perfectly public. And right there, in that balance between sharing and secrecy, she's writing her newest chapter, one wedding hint at a time. And of course, the next big clue had to be the ring. Because with Taylor Swift, the sparkle always comes with a story. On The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, she pulled back the curtain just enough to make the audience gasp. She revealed that Kelce had been holding onto that engagement ring for months before he actually popped the question. Like, can you imagine the suspense? Turns out, he didn't just stroll into any jewelry store either. The design was inspired by a jeweler Taylor once publicly admired, Kindred Lubeck of Artifacts Fine Jewelry. Travis remembered a tiny comment she made months earlier and turned it into the centerpiece of their love story. That's not just thoughtful, that's strategic romance on another level.
Get that one.
He did. He did, and he had it for a really long time before he gave it to me too.
He did?
Custom did this and designed it with this amazing jeweler who he made it with.
It's gorgeous. Even the sides are beautiful.
I know. I know. I look at it constantly.
When Taylor talked about it, her eyes said everything. She confessed that she can't stop staring at it, saying, I look at it constantly. You could almost hear the audience swooning as she casually flexed that massive sparkle under the studio lights. But she didn't stop there. She gave fans another little visual hint. On Fallon's couch, Taylor stacked 2 diamond eternity bands alongside the engagement ring like she was already test driving her wedding look. It wasn't just jewelry, it was storytelling through style, and she knew exactly what she was doing. Every move was deliberate, every detail intentional. The ring wasn't just a symbol of love, it was a preview of what's coming next. The subtle stacking, the designer nod, the glimmering close-ups, all signs that Taylor's already halfway down the aisle in spirit. Then came the London surprise, and it hit the airwaves like a spark. During her chat on BBC Radio 1 with Greg James, one of her longest-running radio buddies, Taylor dropped a gem that nobody saw coming. Midway through their casual back and forth, Greg joked, "Am I coming to the wedding?" And Taylor, without missing a beat, grinned and said, "Obviously, right?"
That he's going to do that as soon as he sees you at our wedding is like, that's gonna happen. Like, he's just gonna...
Whoa.
Oh, did I?
Am I coming?
Obviously.
The studio erupted. It was playful, effortless, and classic Taylor, blurring the line between private and public while making it sound like an inside joke shared with millions. But there was something deeper in that moment. It wasn't just friendly banter. It was another breadcrumb in the master plan she's been building. By teasing Greg, she turned a simple radio segment into a viral headline, weaving her real-life relationships right into the fairy tale narrative she's crafting for fans worldwide. That's Taylor's genius. She turns conversation into storytelling, and everyone becomes part of the plot. Greg naturally tried to dig a little deeper, asking if it was going to be a destination wedding and where it might be held.
Destination wedding?
People don't think that we're actually...
Taylor gave him that sly, knowing smile and replied, "You'll know. Just 3 words." And boom, The internet was spinning theories for days. Then she lightened it up again, reminding Greg of their running inside joke, how he once teased her about needing to take a shower after one of her festival sets and assured him she never took offense.
When you were like joking with me at this show we did about being sweaty, and people thought that it was like a greatly offensive.
It was flirty, funny, and perfectly timed. The kind of interview that keeps her human while still keeping her mysterious. Every giggle, every tease, another piece of the puzzle. And London got one of the juiciest hints yet. But of course, Taylor didn't stop there. She took over UK radio like a one-woman media storm. Everywhere you turned, her voice was on. Heart Breakfast, Magic Radio, Capital Breakfast, Hits Radio, even Breakfast with Gwan and Harriet Scott, she was everywhere. Each show felt like another piece of her grand rollout. A mix of album buzz, wedding teasers, and those signature Swift-style life reflections that keep fans hanging on every word. On Magic Radio, she dove into why she decided to premiere her album in cinemas, calling it a love letter to fans. A way to pull people behind the curtain and let them experience the visuals, the storytelling, the why behind every lyric. It wasn't just music anymore. It was a cinematic universe full of symbols, secret meanings, and hidden gems. And speaking of gems, she casually dropped that Travis's favorite track is Opalite. She explained that she didn't just pick the song title randomly. She chose gemstones and metaphors to reflect energy, connection, and transformation. Fans instantly started decoding the lyrics like detectives. Then, on Capital Breakfast, she switched gears and got personal, chatting about British humor, friendships, and how her time in the UK shaped her creativity. It was light but intentional. Between the laughs, she was reminding everyone that this showgirl era isn't just glitz and glam. It's rooted in real emotion, in culture, and in love. Taylor's radio run wasn't just promotion, it was strategy. Each appearance sprinkled a little more of her wedding fairy tale into the mix while keeping the spotlight squarely on her art. That's her superpower, blending personal revelations with career brilliance so seamlessly that fans don't even realize they're being fed the next chapter in real time. And then came her BBC Radio two-stop, The Scott Mills Breakfast Show. Now, she didn't spill any earth-shattering wedding secrets there, but what she did say made headlines instantly. When Scott brought up those rumors that marriage might mean Taylor was about to hang up her mic, she didn't hesitate for a second. She called the idea shockingly offensive. You could hear the fire in her voice. Taylor made it crystal clear. Love might be her new muse, but it's not her retirement plan. She's still in her prime, still writing, performing, and building an empire that shows no signs of slowing down.
Shockingly offensive thing to say.
Absolutely. It is not the last album.
It's not why people get married.
No, exactly.
So that they can
That's
quit their
She leaned hard into the idea that creativity and partnership can coexist, that one doesn't have to cancel out the other. You could tell she was proud of where she is now, grounded, confident, and finally in a space where marriage feels like a choice, not a cage. She even opened up about how she managed to write her latest album in the middle of her Eras tour. She described herself flying between massive stadium shows and studio sessions in Sweden, carving out time in between to write, a perfect image of balance and determination. Then, as if to remind everyone she's still that funny, relatable superstar at heart, she dropped a hilarious story that had Seth Meyers cracking up back in the States. During her late-night appearance, Taylor revealed that Travis once totally mixed up a celebrity moment. He thought Anna Eberstein was Greta Gerwig at one of her shows. The way she told it, with that playful grin and teasing laugh, made the audience melt. It was warm, human, and intimate. The perfect mix of chaos and charm that only Taylor could deliver. Every interview, every story, another layer of this whirlwind love era, and she's loving every second of it. Taylor kept it real on that stage. She laughed and said, yeah, it's finally time to start digging into the wedding details. But don't get it twisted. Invitations aren't flying out just yet. That's the running theme with her. She's pacing herself, keeping control, and refusing to let the world rush her story. Every move is calculated, every tease intentional. She knows exactly how to keep fans on their toes while protecting the parts of her life that actually matter. Of course, no Taylor Swift era would be complete without the rumor mill spinning out of control. Once again, she had to swat down that tired claim that marriage would somehow end her career. Please. She said it before and she'll say it again. Just because you tie the knot doesn't mean you disappear from your dreams. That line hit hard. Taylor made it clear she's more inspired, more ambitious, and more alive than ever. You can feel it in her interviews, her performances, even her smile. This isn't a woman slowing down, it's one gearing up for her next empire move. And let's not overlook the small details, those subtle fashion clues that Swifties catch instantly. Remember that Tonight Show moment when she stacked not one, but 2 diamond bands alongside her engagement ring? That wasn't just bling. It was a message, a quiet signal that this love story is already evolving into something bigger. Every sparkle, every hint, it's Taylor saying, this chapter's only getting started. By the time Taylor hit the Graham Norton show, she was already walking in full future Mrs. energy. You could feel it. That's where the wedding talk went from subtle hints to jaw-dropping reveals. She revisited the now legendary secret garden proposal story, painting it like a fairy tale. Lush greenery, twinkling lights, and a love so detailed it could only belong to her. She even flashed the ring again, calling the moment magical and thoughtful, and you could tell she meant every word. But the real bombshell came when she finally talked about the wedding itself. Taylor made it clear this celebration isn't going to be one of those stuffy, exclusive bubble weddings where everyone's whispering about who made the guest list and who didn't. Nope. She wants it inclusive, joyful, and big enough that no one's stressing over seating charts. She even admitted that small, tense gatherings stress her out. She's aiming for love, laughter, and connection. When Norton leaned in and cheekily asked if the big day would be happening next year, Taylor flashed that signature mischievous smile and replied, "Oh, you'll know." The crowd went wild, and when he joked that she must be planning something massive if he's getting an invite, she just laughed it off, teasing, "I meant I'm going to invite you." It was lighthearted, but you could feel the excitement buzzing in the room. One thing clear, before any wedding bells ring, she's finishing her album work first. Priorities locked, focus intact. For Taylor, the music always comes first, but this time, love is clearly setting the soundtrack. When you pull all these interviews together, the late night confessions, the radio teasers, the cheeky one-liners, you start to see the bigger picture forming, like a shimmering tapestry of love and strategy. The proposal garden with its secret photographers and storybook setup, the ring designed with meaning and memory, the guest list that's thoughtful and open, the timeline that says music first, wedding when it's right, it's all part of a carefully crafted masterpiece. Nothing is random with Taylor. Every move is deliberate, every reveal another brushstroke in her love story. The tone she's built is pure balance, playful but protected, loving but intentional. She's sharing her happiness without handing over control, letting the world peek through the keyhole, but never through the door. It's a tightrope that only someone as self-aware as Taylor could walk. And she's doing it in heels and glitter with a smile that says she knows exactly how much power she holds. Sure, we don't have the full picture yet. The date, the dress, the vows, the whole dreamy production. But she's given us the outline, the rhythm, the heartbeat of what's coming, and that's the brilliance of it all. There's romance in every clue, intention in every reveal, and a touch of mystery that keeps everyone guessing. Because for Taylor Swift, love isn't just something she lives. It's something she writes. Every lyric, every interview, every wink at the camera is another verse in the greatest story she's ever told. And if this is how the engagement sounds, you can bet the wedding chapter is going to be unforgettable. Now let's dig into the fan theories, because you know Swifties have been connecting dots like detectives on caffeine. The first big prediction, a destination garden wedding, it just makes too much sense. Think about it. That magical proposal in the secret garden, the floral setups, the constant nature imagery she keeps hinting at. It's all pointing towards something lush, dreamy, and outdoors. Fans are convinced she's setting the tone for a romantic ceremony surrounded by greenery, candlelight, and those cinematic forever vibes she's famous for. And where could it be? The guesses are wild but calculated. England, Ireland, maybe even Italy. Each one has roots in her current world. England connects to her creative rebirth. Ireland ties into her poetic streak, and Italy, well, that's where love stories go to live forever. Taylor hasn't confirmed a thing, of course. She never does. But she's been dancing around it with that trademark twinkle in her eye, saying just enough to keep everyone spiraling into theory land. If this turns out to be true, it's not just going to be a wedding, it's going to be a cinematic event. A garden fairy tale come to life, The kind of setting that feels straight out of a love song. And honestly, nobody does that better than Taylor Swift. Prediction number 2, and this one's got fans buzzing. The first dance, it's almost too obvious. Opalite. That song isn't just another romantic track, it's basically their anthem. Taylor's been hyping it non-stop, and the way she linked it to Travis's birthstone, come on, that's not coincidence, that's intention. Every lyric, every shimmering note carries that same energy she's been describing in interviews. Connection, grounding, and transformation. It's the kind of song that feels like two souls meeting halfway under candlelight. She's called it one of Travis's favorites, and she's used that same gym-inspired metaphor language to describe their relationship. Polished through pressure, glowing from within, rare and unbreakable. That's why fans are betting heavy that Opalite will either be the first dance song or at least a key track in the wedding playlist. You can almost picture it. A soft, glowing light. Their silhouettes swaying as the music wraps around them like magic. If that's not the definition of a Swift fairy tale moment, what is? Prediction number 3, a surprise performance by Ed Sheeran. Now this one's got real weight behind it. During her UK radio tour, Taylor casually dropped a few hints that sent fans spiraling. Little mentions about Ed always being the guy who ends up singing at weddings, followed by that mischievous grin she does when she knows she's saying too much. That's not a throwaway comment, that's a clue, plain and simple. Let's be honest, Taylor and Ed's bond runs deep. Years of friendship, iconic collaborations, and mutual respect. It would be so on brand for her to have him pop up mid-reception, guitar in hand, serenading the crowd with something acoustic, heartfelt, and probably tear-inducing. People are already betting on which song it'll be. Maybe a duet, maybe a mashup, maybe something brand new just for the occasion. And it fits perfectly with the theme she's built. Intimate but grand, familiar but full of spectacle. If Ed Sheeran really does hit that stage, it won't just be a wedding performance. It'll be a moment the whole world remembers. Prediction number 4, no bubble invitations. Taylor's already made it loud and clear. She's not doing one of those tight, snobby weddings where everyone's whispering about who got invited and who didn't. She's over that kind of pressure. During her Graham Norton sit-down, she flat out said she doesn't want a bubble wedding, meaning no edge-of-the-list drama, no inner circle paranoia, and definitely no stress over seating charts. So, what can we expect instead? A generous, wide-open guest list that reflects her real personality. Inclusive, warm, and welcoming. This isn't just about A-listers and red carpets. This is about energy and connection. People are even speculating she might invite folks she's never been publicly close to. It may be collaborators, old friends, or even industry icons she's quietly admired. That alone crushes those early rumors claiming it was going to be some small, ultra-private ceremony. Nope. If there's one thing Taylor's shown us, it's that she wants celebration, not secrecy. A space where everyone feels part of the story, not just watching it from the sidelines. And honestly, that fits her evolution perfectly. She's creating a wedding that feels like love in community, not exclusivity. And that brings us to the next layer, the guest list, power move. Inviting media figures like Greg James and Graham Norton, that's not random, that's a statement. Taylor's making it crystal clear that this wedding isn't just for family and close friends, but for everyone who's been part of her story, on and off the mic. These aren't just interviewers. They're voices that have followed her journey for years, helping her shape the public chapters of her life. In true Taylor fashion, she's turning the people who used to report her story into witnesses of it. Which leads us to prediction 5, a ceremony that blends private and public moments. Knowing how intentional Taylor is, you can bet she's designing something with layers. The kind of structure where some vows or readings are deeply personal, shielded from cameras, while other moments are shared with the world in perfect lighting. Think stunning press photos, maybe a short highlight reel, but the real emotional core. The tears, the whispers, the intimate promises, kept sacred behind closed doors. That's Taylor all over, controlling the narrative while protecting the heart. And here's where it gets even juicier. Fans are convinced the Life of a Showgirl album itself is already the soundtrack to her wedding era. Songs like Opalite and others have that lyrical energy that feels straight from her real life. People are already dissecting verses, trying to match lyrics to proposal dates, quotes from interviews, or moments she's hinted at. That's part of the Taylor experience. Half music, half mystery, all meaning. And that final touch, those media invitations, ties everything together. To most, it might seem odd to invite radio hosts and talk show personalities, but for Taylor, these aren't outsiders. They're part of her creative timeline. People like Greg James have been in her story since forever, capturing her evolution through the years. Now they're part of the ultimate chapter, her wedding. And that's not just poetic, it's genius. When Taylor says, "You'll know at a different time," that's not just a cute deflection. That's theater. It's a pause, a wink, a breadcrumb dropped right where she wants it. Every word is crafted, every silence deliberate. She's a master at building tension, letting fans live in that space between what's revealed and what's still hidden. And that's her boundary in action. She shares the outline, never the blueprint. We get the ring, the garden, the invite, little flashes of the dream, but the vows, the tears, the speeches, those stay locked away. That's her control, her artistry, keeping the sacred moments for herself while giving just enough for the world to swoon. She's not just planning a wedding, she's producing a narrative. Each chapter unfolds like a screenplay. First the proposal, then the ring reveal, then the guest list chatter, the rumors, the fan theories, and finally, the wedding crescendo. It's storytelling in real time, and Taylor's the director, the star, and the screenwriter all in one. And that's what makes her unmatched. She's not chasing the spotlight, she's orchestrating it. Every move builds momentum, every reveal stokes curiosity, every pause keeps millions guessing. She's letting anticipation simmer just enough for the moment to hit harder when it finally lands. So when she says, "You'll know," don't take it lightly, that's a promise wrapped in performance. Keep your ears open because those offhand comments, those radio laughs, those lyric clues, they're all part of her master plan. Taylor's already given us the map. The path is laid out step by step. We just have to keep walking it with her until the grand finale drops, and when it does, we'll definitely know. So here we are, standing at the edge of what feels like the most cinematic love story Taylor Swift has ever written, and it's unfolding in real time. Every lyric, every smirk, every "you'll know" moment has been a breadcrumb leading straight to this, the era where art, love, and legacy collide. The girl who once turned heartbreak into poetry is now flipping the script, and this time it's not tragedy she's writing, it's triumph. Think about it. She's mastered the one thing most stars can't control, the narrative. From the secret garden proposal to the custom ring, from the teasing radio invites to her vow to never let marriage define or limit her, Taylor's built a love story that's both private and public, sacred and strategic. It's not just a wedding, it's a cultural event in motion, the kind of story that fans, critics, and dreamers alike can't stop decoding. And what makes it so hypnotic is that she's letting us in just enough. We see the glow, we feel the joy, but we never touch the core, because that's hers to keep. She's giving us mystery, power, and romance all wrapped in one glittering masterpiece. Every move she makes, every interview she gives adds another beat to the soundtrack of her next big reveal. Taylor isn't rushing to the altar. She's curating history. So while the world waits for the date, the dress, and the headline that breaks the internet, one thing's already clear. This isn't just the story of a pop star getting married. It's the story of a woman reclaiming control, celebrating love, and turning her life into the art we can't look away from. And when that wedding finally happens, oh, we'll know. Because Taylor doesn't just announce a moment, she makes the whole world feel it. Stay locked in with BarzBuzz, where we don't just break stories, we break them down. The whispers, the symbolism, the secrets between the lyrics, you'll catch everyone right here. Because when Taylor drops the next clue, you know we'll be the first to decode it. If this saga had you shook, wait till you see what's next. You already know what it is. BarzBuzz got the real, raw, and unfiltered breakdowns. So don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to catch up.